Stop. Don't buy that Pix package or All Access. Wait, what? Yep, don't click Add to Cart until you check out our new deals page at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can find all the latest offers, promotions, and coupons available all in one place. These deals are updated daily and can be found by clicking Deals in the nav at WagerTalk or Sports Memo, going to wt.buzz/deals, or scanning the QR code on your screen.
Welcome in a very let me turn my shit up there. Hold on one second. There we go, much better. Welcome in here, guys. A very happy Monday to you as we welcome in yet another week here in the month of May, and the NBA playoffs. Well, they continue to deliver on a whole lot of fronts, whole lot of headlines, and we've got two more games here tonight we're going to break down, and we're going to do it with three of the finest over at WagerTalk.com. Two of the finest. We've got Andy Lang here and Rob Vino as always, and then there he is. What the hell was the name of that? Barney's here. Barney the dinosaur is here, and Tony Finn. Thank you very much.
I thought
Appreciate
you were
it.
Fife. Barney
No,
Fife.
you're looking extremely purplish here today, and nope, I'm not tripping. Andy Lang, talk to me here, my man. What kind of week? A lot going on. We had a little F1 down here south. We had a ton of baseball, ton of NBA. What did you have? How was the weekend, and what do you got for us tonight on a $9 Monday?
Well, it was really good. Listen, I was in hog heaven. You got the Formula One race in Miami, which was exciting. They put on a great show. Weather was not a factor, so that was great. At the same time, we had my favorite NASCAR track, Darlington, so that was cool. Last 7 days, plus 21.75 units across all sports. NBA was a big part of that, so I cannot complain. I'm very, very happy, and had a great Mother's Day. Shout out to Mom. My mom requested that she was able to do a free play video, and she did. And she took Joel Embiid under his points, and he cashed by going under by half a point. So my mom got her Mother's Day wish, which, believe it or not, was Joel Embiid under his points. But as for myself, hoping to cash tonight, we got a 5% NBA play up. We loved it. We put it up last night. Couldn't wait till this morning. So grab that at WagerTalk.com. Red hot in hockey. We're on a 24-4 run in hockey.
Woo!
Yeah, 9-1 in baseball. So all sports are going really, really well. It's a great time to get like a 3-day pass or a 7-day pass. But if you're just interested in NBA, 5% goes off tonight in the Celtics and Bucks game.
All right, a little something going on there. Red hot across the board, Andy Lang and Tony Finn, my man. What is happening here? How was the weekend and MLB here today? Of course, NBA tonight. What do you got in store for us on a $9 Monday?
Well, my weekend wasn't quite as it doesn't compare to Mr. Lang's, but I'm still. I mean, I entered yesterday, for instance. I entered 15-3 with my NBA on best bets in the postseason. However, for the second straight game, Chris Paul wants to stand tall and live up to his postseason reputation, I guess. And I've claimed how I've claimed that Phoenix is the best team, most balanced team, but what they've shown the last two games is that Chris Paul's pretty damn important. So that said, won the baseball, lost my side and total on Phoenix. I don't know how the total comes in under after the first half, but it does. And it does pretty easily, actually. Tonight, 2 baseball, locked and loaded. And we've been, if you've been listening off air, we've been talking a little bit about some of the things we like in this NBA program tonight, the 2 games we got going on. But I haven't pulled the trigger. Sounds like these 2 guys have pulled the trigger. I'm still waiting to solidify the mortal locks,
Mm-hmm. You should know better. I mean, when you talk, I don't listen. Robino, what is going on here, my man? Happy Monday to you. Making the rounds here. What do you got? What do you got in store for us here, Vino, on a $9 Monday? I know you're ready to go.
First off, I'm very surprised that you referred to Tony Finn as purple today and not a bad rash. I was waiting for you to call him a bad rash, but that didn't happen.
Early yet.
Barney.
It's early.
Purple Barney. Yeah, I would brag about, NBA best bets being up 63 units or 63% ROI since February the 5th, 3 months. But then Andy Lang comes along and he's 80% in everything. So here's my advice on $9 Monday. Just go buy Andy Lang. Don't worry about me.
Way to
I'll
go,
survive
Andy.
without the $9. Go buy Andy Lang.
Great.
The NBA 4%ers, though, that have been red hot, Joe, there's a couple up and available right now, WagerTalk.com on tonight's games. Again, we're only getting 2 games a night, but the 2 games on certain nights seem to present extra advantages. So we're really honed in on one of these games pretty strong here. See if we can knock this one out of the park. Once again, $9 Monday, WagerTalk.com.
All right. Well, we've got a couple of interesting ones here today. Really, what amounts to a coin flip game, and of course, the latest news in game number 2, which has driven the market absolutely bonkers, even in the playoffs. But let's talk coin flip here, guys. How about Boston, Milwaukee tonight? I pick them 1, 1.5, back to 1. This is the total also, too. What an adjustment this has been. I'm seeing somewhere right around, I mean, it's come up a little bit now. I'm seeing 212s, 212.5s popping in, but maybe just a overreaction in a total perspective. But it certainly does feel like a coin flip type of situation. So, Andy, kick us off here with the Celtics and the Bucks. From a prop betting perspective, who are you looking at in this game?
Well, there's a couple guys that I'm looking at, and one of them in particular I'd like Rob's opinion on. I'll just start off with him. Jason Tatum. I'm looking at his under points, rebounds, and assists. The last game, it was 0 for 10 when Wes Matthews guarded him, and at 0 for 2 might just be an aberration, but 0 for 10, maybe there's something there, and maybe there's some value in this. In the 2 losses, he's had 33 and 14 PRA. In the win, he's had 40, so he technically has not gone over this points, rebounds, and assists. I watched that game, obviously, start to finish, and I was surprised at some of the bad decision-making that he did. I thought he put himself in some bad situations. But, seriously, 14 PRA, you got to look at the under here, and I'm not really sure – if the injuries to Marcus Smart doesn't look like himself. I think this is a pretty big deal because Milwaukee doesn't have to, go all out to start or to stop Marcus Smart, and maybe they're able to shade over and focus some attention on Tatum. But I'm definitely going Tatum under 40.5. And then I got to look at Giannis over 51.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And this is way outside of my wheelhouse. Normally I'm picking unders on these huge numbers, but he's had 49 and 44 PRA, and then they go to Milwaukee, and he puts up 62. It was the Giannis and Holiday show. They each had 30 shots. They get a horrible game from Grayson Allen. He goes 0 for 3. They're not getting contributions from anyone else, and it just felt like Giannis really figured something out with them. 16 for 30, and he only went 1 for 6 from three-pointers, 9 to 12. He did add 12 rebounds and 8 assists. It just feels like this was the game where he really convinced himself they cannot stop me inside. I'm not taking any unders on Giannis. In fact, I'll go over at 51.5, but I am interested in what the guys think about the Jason Tatum performances. Is this just an aberration? Is he going to come back, or has Milwaukee figured something out on defense?
Listen, no need to suck up to Rob Vino because you just shit all over him with your ridiculous NHL record. I'm just saying. But, Rob, let me ask you. Up
He's
too late.
crushing me in playoffs.
There
He's crushing me
We
in
got Finn
playoffs.
Dust. I don't want to hear it. Rob Vino, let me go to you because he did ask for your opinion. But I will just say this, Rob. Who the hell needs Jason Tatum when you have Al Horford in the hot tub time machine? So what do you think here tonight? Because he really has turned back the clock. And if not for Al Horford, Woo, that game wouldn't even been close. What do you think here, Vino?
Well, I mean, they did get a bunch out of Jaylen Brown, too. I mean, so we won't just give it all to Al Horford. 10 of 11 at the free throw line. It's a bunch to unpack here, really, with this series, Joe. But where Jason Tatum's concerned, he has a bad game one. He bounces back pretty good in game two, right? Goes 10 of 20 from the floor. And I think he hit 5 threes in that game. Then he has a bad game three. We'll see if he can come back in game four. We were talking a little bit off air. And for me, just in my observation, to me, Jason Tatum at this point looks like his own worst enemy. Like the stuff that he's attempting is unnecessary. We don't have to get one extra step closer to the rim and subsequently get called for a charge or lose the ball out of bounds or get yourself trapped and make a bad pass. So we'll see if Tatum himself can get himself out of it, because that matchup with Wes Matthews really shouldn't be problematic for him. I mean, Wes Matthews is a tenacious defender, but there's about a 5-inch height advantage there for Jason Tatum. So we'll see if he can overcome that. The shooting in this series, has not been good from the get-go, right? And you just wait for this series to regress back to the mean, positive regression here in this series from these shooters. Bucks 3-point shooting, the last two games, 3 of 18, 9 of 34, 12 of 52, combined 23% from three. That's not the Bucks. And it makes me wonder, Joe, real quick, I thought they would miss Chris Middleton in this series. It's why I bet Boston, in various series ways. But now it's really coming to fruition that Chris Middleton's not there to shoot these threes. So they're going to need some step-up guys here. But when you look at Drew Holiday, 4 of 16, Grayson Allen 0 for 4, Bobby Portis 1 for 6, Brook Lopez 0 for 2. That's all in the last two games. Somebody's got to step up for them. If your name's not Pat Connaughton, you haven't shot it well. I'm going to get to the bottom, the keys here to this game, in my estimation. First off, you do wonder which team will bounce back from three-point range. It's very possible both of these teams could shoot it real well here tonight from three. But points in the paint, where this series is concerned, how about Milwaukee 140 and Boston 86? The Bucks are plus 64 inside the paint. And then when you go to fast break points, the Bucks have 55, the Celtics have 25. So the Celtics are minus 64 and minus 30 in those two categories. And if those things don't straighten out, they're not going to win this series. So somewhat of it is an aberration to me, guys. And I think that they will kind of help themselves out. I think Boston's been their own worst enemy in a lot of cases. But Boston found a little something in that last game. They had only shot 35 free throws in the first two games put together, and then they shoot 34 last game. So a little bit more going to the rim, a little bit more getting – it seemed like everybody was in foul trouble, but they got the Bucks in foul trouble there. I think this game is going to go over. I thought 102.5 looked a little slim for the first half. 212.5 looks a little slim. And I think more than anything – I think Boston bounces back here. I think Boston team total over 105.5 is worth a shot, too. They got to 101 the other day, guys. You can look at their numbers. I won't go through the statistics, but they were horrendous. And they still got to 101, and we're probably, I don't know, what was it, like 0.2 of a second away from being into overtime. Al Horford's tip came just a little bit too late.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's been an interesting series. Neither team shooting very well there, and while they miss Middleton, Tony Finn, we can't, we can't absolve what Holiday is doing. He's only hitting 37% of his shots from the field. He's been atrocious. He's been MIA. Normally, we'd say Giannis and a good Holiday is more than enough to be able to beat a team that's only going to score 100 points or so, but that's not what we've got. So I don't know how much of this is terrible shooting. How much is it give credit to the defense? But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. No, Tony Finn?
No, yes. No, Tony Finn. Yes, Tony Finn. Yes, Joe Raineri. Here's the deal. Milwaukee's up 2-1 in this series. Yeah. They're beat Houston, so big deal, right? They're up 2-1 in this series. They've been everything but impressive statistically. The Bucks averaging just short of 101 per 100 through 3 games in the series, and the Freak and his mates have a net of minus 2.4, and they're up 2-1. That said, if Boston, like we've talked about, if Boston was a milk carton, Jason Tatum would represent the missing person / player, I guess. The Celtics have a positive net, 103.1 per 100, and they've done this with Jason Tatum shooting 35% from the floor. Every edge you look at here, and they've even made an adjustment in the number, guys. I mean, this is now showing basically a pick 'em -1 win. What was it last game? Wasn't it almost 3 at some point in time? -3 for Milwaukee. They're better than Milwaukee defensively. So I want to answer your question, Joe, and that is that I think Boston, as Rob mentioned, and as Mr. Lang, they're the ones that regress positively. They shoot better. They're back at home, and I think they come out on top. And I think no, not at home. I'm sorry, well, they're not. Well, we're not at home.
Boston is not.
I think they come out on top. Yeah, I think they come out on top here. I think this series takes a different direction. And Tatum plays. He's going to take some of Rob's advice and play a little differently. He'll shoot 12-footers instead of 11-footers. But I certainly can't play Milwaukee. If you ask me which team is a better defensive team overall, it's not even close. Boston's a better defensive team, and I think all things equal, this thing goes back to being a series where Boston's the one that's impressive, and it happens tonight. And they do take advantage of a Milwaukee team that's absent Middleton. And as Rob said, he's a big part of that stretching that defense and shooting threes, and he's not there. They haven't taken advantage of it.
So if over is the way you guys are leading here, though, Vino, I'm looking at a Celtics team total of 105.5, and I'm looking for 106.5 for Milwaukee. And, man, if this thing lands in the 220s, neither one of those teams are coming anywhere close to those numbers. It sounds like it's going to go over in that aspect as well.
Yeah, I would, Tony triggered something in my head. Both of these teams are playing defense the same way, right? The picket line defense is always present against Giannis in the playoffs. Nick Nurse showed us that a few years ago. Everybody seems to copy it. And the same defense is being employed because Milwaukee has the length in that front line. Portis, Lopez, Giannis against Jason Tatum. But Giannis scores 42 last game, 29 the game before. Remember, he had the terrible first half in game 2. He goes 2 for 12. Then he comes out with a huge second half. Giannis has found a way to score despite this picket line defense. And Jason Tatum's the guy who's just stumbling over himself, still trying. So he's got to figure something out. I do think, Joe, that the three-point shooting aspect of this series has to change at some point. I don't know that all of it is due to really great defense. And somebody brought up Drew Holiday. Maybe it was you, Joe. Here's a guy who, when you take more shots than you score points, that's not good. And Drew Holiday, last 2 games, taking like 30 shots last game to score 25 points, just a bunch of volume with not a lot of production. He's been bad overall in this series. He's got to change things. Portis, the whole crew, and the same with Boston. So, I mean, if you think things are going to change around because they're really good offensive teams, then you're on over here.
Yeah, and I'll just throw it since the over seems to be the consensus. I am seeing a alternate over line at 222.5. So at pretty good price there too. At plus 250. Yeah, at plus 250. So if you think both these teams can dabble in 10 or 11 extra points, voila! All sorts of ways to approach this game, but a lot of correlating there, guys. If you caught on to that, team totals, overs and under. Who do you like? There's a lot of different ways to approach this, and if you're right, it's going to be a very profitable evening for sure in this game. This next one, not so much maybe. As we take a look at Memphis in Golden State here for game number 4, and I'm sure Memphis has already forgotten about the ass whooping and the cheat code that was already broken there. Ouch! I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and delete that. But it is now 10 here, guys. I am seeing 10 across the board with Golden State. It was 10.5, so they were floating around too. The total was 227 as a opening. And boy, oh boy, it didn't take long once the news of Morant, who is going to try to play, I guess last report doesn't mean he's going to, but 223 is where the total sits now here, Andy Lang. And All right, let's just assume he doesn't play here. Is there a Memphis or Golden State prop that you're looking at in this matchup?
Yeah, for me, pickings are a little bit slim in this one. Steph and Poole and Clay have taken their turns with big games, but I can't find anything consistent with them. And then Tony and I were talking at length about the Grizzlies player props. I thought Tony had some really good stuff. And then I can't wrap my head around any of the Grizzlies plays, but I got to look at Draymond Green under 7.5 points. He's not shooting. Like not shooting the ball at all. He's had 5 points, 5 points, and 6 points this series. He's attempted 3, 5, and 3 shot attempts and only has 5 free throw attempts total in this series. Last game, the Golden State Warriors scored 142 points, and Draymond had 5. He's just more involved with assists. He had 8 assists. He had 5 rebounds, and I think where he's at right now is just trying to create space for Clay and Steph and Poole in particular, and trying to gum up the middle and make sure that he's focusing on defense. And they don't need his scoring. He's much more effective for this Warriors team if he's setting screens and getting other guys open and going with assists. So 7.5 points on Draymond is going to be my only play in this game.
All right. Draymond is never a bad way to look, but let me just go ahead and remind Tony Finn that this was when we were pointing out the ability of Memphis early in the season to win games without Ja Morant. I think we were, Vino, about 10 games in, and they just hadn't lost yet. And I think the Mirage comment came in, and they're fake and all this other stuff that came along with it. So they ended up 20-5 this year without Morant in the lineup. Not to mention their offense and defensive efficiency numbers shot up without him on the court, which is pretty interesting there, Tony Finn. So is this just a mirage, though? Is the season over from Memphis here? Did they get blown out again tonight? How are you approaching this?
Well, first off, that's everything you said, spot on, accurate. Save their offensive and defensive efficiency. Their offensive efficiency actually dropped 3 points, but their defensive efficiency did get better and without Morant, and that's because they play a little slower. They play a little slower, and they play a little more safe, should I say, compared to what we see with Morant. So, but you're right. They went on to be 20-5. I made the claim off the air that part of the success was fortuitous situations where their strength of schedule wasn't that overwhelming. But, it's NBA, and winning in the NBA on the road, going 20-5 without your all-star, something has to be said for a team that does that. As much as I want to say that they're a regular season team, I still believe that. They're the youngest team, Joe. You guys, we all know that. Mm-hmm. That means something in the playoffs. However, what I've said off the air was that Jared Jackson Jr. was the key to this game. His usage went from 20% to almost 30% without Morant. The problem with that is that he has a tendency to be really careless and reckless and lazy and not be technically sound and get his ass in foul trouble. And that's the bottom line. Without Jared Jackson on the floor, when Morant was injured, their efficiency numbers fell off the table. So what are we going to do here? We're going to do this. We're going to know that Kerr's experienced, that this Warriors team's experienced, and they talked about it even before the season started. When Curry said, listen, let them say what they want to say. We've been through this. We're experienced. We're the fathers, they're the sons, and we'll teach them a few things during this series. I'm not laying 10, Joe, but I might. I mean, I'm confident that Golden State, I might in different ways. It may be a live number or something I get into tonight, but I'm confident Golden State's going to win this game and essentially take the series, basically send Morant to the doctor to have that surgery on his knee he's going to need. So there you go.
So Bob, double digits. That stat they had up there is yikes. It doesn't happen very often, especially this when we get to this point in a series here in round 2 of the playoffs where double digits with Golden State, knowing that Memphis certainly handled their business. I love teams that have experience playing without a superstar, right? They know they can do it. They know they can keep it close. They certainly have the firepower. But I don't know. When push comes to shove here, Vino, how do you approach this game here tonight?
Yeah, I tell you, my first thought was how the heck is head coach Taylor Jenkins going to play this thing, right? Because they just don't match up on the perimeter, Joe. They got guys, and Dylan Brooks comes back, right? Yep. Dylan Brooks is one of their best perimeter defenders, so that helps Memphis. However, there's too many of those guys from Golden State, and they just don't have 3 really good defenders to lock them all up. It doesn't matter if you shut one down if the other 2 are going crazy. Thus, the question in my mind, if we said this at the beginning of the series, right? And, we're not rocket scientists here. It's pretty simple to know that the advantage that Golden State has is from the perimeter. The advantage that anybody has against Golden State is the interior. You're playing with a 6'5" center in Draymond Green. So here we go. Is it time to bring Steven Adams back into this lineup, right? If you don't have Ja tonight, if you don't have Ja tonight and you want to slow it down like Tony suggested, and you can add an extra big and take advantage of them inside and just pray and hope that your interior scoring matches their perimeter scoring and you're in a game in the fourth quarter, right? To me, I don't know that he's going to do that, but I'm just thinking of ways. He's got Brandon Clark. He's got Jaren Jackson. He's got, Xavier Tillman, who they're starting at center, is still bigger than Draymond Green. There's a whole host of these guys. Dylan Brooks is as big as Draymond Green. So perhaps for Memphis, your best plan on offense is to have everything going to the rim, whether it's, wing guys driving to the hole or whether it's feeding into the inside, and trying to play Golden State that way. Slow it down a little bit. They're just too good shooting, Joe. I don't think that Golden State can be stopped by this Memphis defense. Can you keep up with them? Here, again, these 2 things stick out like a sore thumb in this series. Memphis, the entire season, number 1 in the NBA in rebounding. They've gotten beat rebounding in every game this series by the Warriors. How do you get beat in rebounding by the Warriors when you're the number 1 rebounding team in the NBA? Memphis was the number 1 team in the NBA points in the paint this year. They've gotten beat every single game in points in the paint by the Warriors. So, if you listen to that, you think they'd be down 3-0 right now. They haven't done either of those well. I know Ski had said to me last time we were on, yeah, but Rob, Steven Adams played a bunch of those games, and I get that. Maybe you bring him back tonight. But the rebuttal to that is every time you played, you weren't playing a 6'5" center. So, they should be killing this team inside. They're not. Tonight, I think they would have to. And I don't know that 223.5 is just an automatic under, because it seems to me that Golden State's offense has a huge advantage on one side. Memphis's offense has an advantage on the other side, despite not having Morant. Maybe the numbers come down a little bit too much, but I don't know. I'm not in the business of laying 10 guys. I think Memphis can play it a little bit closer than that. If I had to, I think I'd be on the underdog here.
Sounds like you and Ski are cooking up a Kayvon Looney rebound prop here tonight. That's what it sounds like to me. But I will say this here also, guys, couple of notes about this Memphis and Golden State game. We have team totals in the first half for Memphis, 51.5. You've got Golden State, 57.5. Those are your 2 team totals in the first half. Full game, 106.5 for Memphis and 116.5 for the Golden State Warriors. So there's some correlating to be had there as well, guys, depending on what you think you're going to get really from this Memphis team. Now, if Golden State, I don't know, they're going to shoot another 60%, 90% from the field. Those numbers were just gaudy in game number 3. Do they have back-to-back performances like that tonight? Do they have that in them? Is Memphis going to provide any resistance? Because if they do, it's going to be a tough number to hit here. So this is a lot of different ways to approach this game here tonight. Now it is time to figure out which way these guys are going to approach these 2 games from a best bet perspective. And Andy, we will start with you here, my man. 60 seconds on the clock. You got these two games. You got a prop there that you like a little bit more than the rest. And again, tell us how wonderful and how profitable you have been in the NHL. Get it out of the way before Rob is going to say something again about it. So go ahead.
I will not be patronized by the panel or the host. But let's be honest, 24-4 is a pretty good run in the NHL.
Oh, man.
All right. 5% is up. 5% is up in the NBA. My best prop for tonight for the show's Brooke Lopez. Opened up at 6.5 rebounds. It's now 5.5 rebounds, a little bit of juice. I don't care. I will easily lay this. He had 10 in game 1. He had 6 in kind of a weird game 2 because he got in foul trouble, but he still had 6 rebounds. And then he had 10 again. If he stays out of foul trouble, he's going to play close to 30 minutes like he did in game 1 and game 3. He's a really important piece to Milwaukee without Middleton. He clogs up the lane. He plays really good defense. They got to respect him on offense. He's going to get a ton of minutes and opportunities. Him and Giannis combined for 22 of the 53 rebounds last game. I expect him to get to double digits again tonight.
All right. Liking the double digits. Love that. Let's go, Finn. Come on. Back it up. Let's do it. Where we go first? I can't wait to hear which game you like better and where your best bet is coming from here, Finn. So go ahead, 60 seconds. Lay it on us here.
I'm going to go to Memphis and Golden State, I think.
Damn.
But let's go there. Let's go to the Memphis Golden State game. We're going to focus on Jaren Jackson Jr. and his usage during that stretch during the regular season when Memphis was 20-5 without their all-star, without Morant. And Jackson's performance usage per se was 20%, pretty balanced, 20% during the regular season when Morant was on the court. Without Morant, almost 30%. Now, the key obviously here is that this guy, versatile, big, long, lean, fast, can block shots at, standing on his head. Over 1.5 blocks tonight. If he gets his 30% usage, he plays 30 to 33 minutes, which I think he will. Then he's going to get 2 blocks or more. He may have 5 blocks. Over 1.5 blocks, minus 120 tonight in San Francisco at Oracle Arena. Jaren Jackson Jr.
All right, liking Jaren Jackson. I'm going to throw it out. I don't know if you guys have it in front of you. Robert, maybe you can check it there. But what is Golden State to win in 5 now? Just curious. Rob Dino, talk to me, my man. 60 seconds. What do you think we got here tonight for a best bet?
Well, first of all, let's be honest. There's only one of us on the panel that's worth purchasing tonight, and that's Andy Lang. $9 Monday.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
buy his baseball, buy his hockey, buy his auto racing, Formula One. I don't even care what kind of auto. Buy anything. Just please, Andy Lang. I'm going to go the Andy Lang route in this last 36 seconds. Now that I blew off 15 of them. I'm going to go the Andy Lang route and play a player prop in the Boston-Milwaukee series. I just think it's a night where Grayson Allen comes alive from three-point land. He's been non-existent the last 2 games. He was 3 of 6 shooting threes in the first game. His PRA, points, rebounds, and assists number is only 14.5. I feel like this guy could get 12 points tonight just by shooting threes and then pick up a couple of rebounds and a couple of assists. He's not a bad rebounding guard. To me, the number looked really low, and I expect these guys to get back to their good three-point shooting. So give me Grayson Allen, points, rebounds, assists over 14.5.
Wow. Oh, man. Hammered that.
I'll take the over,
there, Robert.
I'll take the over 1.5 tripping on Grayson Allen.
Trip good. Very nice. Trip. I like that. Let's give a little dust before we read the recap here. Is Andy Lang. I don't know if you guys heard it. But he's pretty good in the NHL. Just may want to head over there with his 5% play here tonight. Across the board, best bets are locked and loaded for all 3 of these gentlemen. But Andy Lang, he's going Brooke Lopez over 5.5 rebounds here tonight. And he's been pretty good inside the paint there for Milwaukee in this series. And Tony Finn, speaking of rebounds, he likes Jaren Jackson Jr. Only he likes him to swamp people over 1.5 blocks here tonight in this matchup.
even
this
money.
one, is it even now?
Even money.
Yep.
Wow, okay. I didn't even think you'd get it at that. Good stuff there. Don't forget, $9 best bets right now. And you heard it right there, as Joel Embiid says, don't forget about us. We're not done yet, but we'll have a big conversation about them tomorrow here as Ski Profit will be in the house. Tony Finn, Rob Vino will be back again. And until then, of course, we want to thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. Best of luck with your plays tonight. Come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll do it again. Have a good one, guys. Good luck tonight. We'll see you then.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.